This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Hey, everybody. We are back after our little 4th of July break. We took a little time for ourselves over the last couple of weeks to, take a little summertime, rest and relaxation, except for Mike, who's been working the whole time. And we hope you enjoyed our last episode, the Independence Day episode. I have some things to say about that later on because we got some comments on that episode. But we are back. We are back tonight with episode 157, Musical Moments in Non-Musical Movies. I couldn't come up with anything really witty for the title, so I tried to just go with alliteration.
I keep adding things up so I see if I could get enough letters on my board.
Musical moments in non-musical movies. Yeah, a lot of M's there. N's and M's. Again, we are Films of Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. In this episode, we're diving into those unexpected musical moments that caught us off guard and had us tapping our feet in delight. Who knew Ferris Bueller could turn a parade into a concert? Or that the history of the world could make you want to sing along to the Inquisition? Or Wayne's World could give so many 90s kids neck trauma? So grab your beverage and your dance shoes because we're about to rock out to the greatest musical scenes in non-musical movies. Don't forget, you can drop us an email at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links, including our new link on Reddit. Become part of the Films of Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com. We are part of the Deluxe Edition Network, The Den, at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Voting has begun for the Denny Awards. Again, we are all up for some award or another, including Podcast of the Year. Our listeners can vote as well. I will be putting the link for the voting site in the show description, and I'll be including it on all of our socials in the next couple days.
I hope I win the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
I think you have a really good shot there. In the meantime, check out the Den's podcast of the month for the month of July, the Real Drunks podcast.
Hey guys, Matt coming at you from the Real Drunks. Hey, if you're into movies, booze, craft beers, and just shooting the shit with your friends, join myself, Jake, and Alyssa on the Real Drunks on the Deluxe Edition Network and anywhere you get your podcast from. That's the Real Drunks, REEL, the Real Drunks. Check us out.
Boy, their show format sounds pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their sign, look pretty familiar. Alcohol, the glue that's holding this shit show together.
I know. Talking about movies and alcohol. What a novel idea.
Why didn't we think about that?
I know.
It wasn't until we joined the Den that I realized that there were other shows out there like ours, because there's about 8 shows on the Den that are about alcohol and movies.
We're going to have to fall back on our plan B, crocheting
podcast. Nothing would make for a better podcast than a visual art like crocheting. Now,
while you're drunk.
Now move the needle to the left. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? I think I went first last time around, so Mike,
I'll go first
tonight. Or Kevin, you go first tonight. Go ahead.
My friend Mike brought me some really awesome beers from his trip. down south. I finished off the Devil's Backbone Summer Ale or Summer Lager. I'm trying to remember whether it was Summer Ale or something like. Regardless, it's Summer what?
Lager.
I thought it was lager. But I have now opened a Antietam Brewery Hager Weiss Hefeweizen. So that is what I'm going through today. And shortly after that, I like it thick and thin from Thick and Thin Brewing Company. I'm going to have the Wolf House Marzen.
I had both of those at your house when we came over to jump in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Mike gave them to me too. Mike, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I'm going to steal some of Kevin's thunder because I'm drinking one of the my Thick and Thin Wolf House Marzen. Do it all, brew it all. That's what is their logo. Hagerstown, Maryland, 5.2 alcohol by volume.
All right. I have been drinking beer a lot in the last few episodes, so I said I'm going back to a mixed drink tonight. It's been a while. A couple weeks ago, Katie and I went to a distillery near here to try out some stuff. It's called the Independent Spirits Distillery, which is in New Jersey. And this is their bottle right here, Independent Spirits. So I'm drinking a mixed drink tonight that they gave me the recipe for. It's called the Avalanche.
Okay.
It is 2 shots of their espresso liqueur, 1 shot of their handcrafted bourbon,
Nice.
both of which are very tasty on their own. And then you mix it with chocolate milk,
Ooh.
and it makes a very sweet yet boozy mixed drink. It's very good.
Sounds very mocha-y.
It's only supposed to fill up a martini glass, so I made a little bit extra so I can fill up my, mason jar.
It's a double. Made it a double.
It's like a quadruple.
I have all the ingredients next to me in case I need more. Michael, anything happened this week?
This week in film history. In 1981, Escape from New York, directed by John Carpenter and starring Kurt Russell and Donald Pleasance, premieres in the U.S.
And starts a beautiful friendship between Kurt Russell and John Carpenter, who became his muse for 4 movies.
Mm-hmm. Put him in an eye patch.
Yeah, I love Escape from New York. It's one of my favorites. Snake Plissken. Escape from L.A., not so much. But Escape from New York is really good. What's your next one?
Also in 1981, Walt Disney's The Fox and the Hound was released.
I'm a hound dog.
That poor scene, though, where the old woman just leaves the fox just in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw a meme the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It was, no matter how big and strong and mean you are, Disney movie will make you cry.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Mufasa dies.
Mufasa, Bambi's mom,
the whole intro to Up.
The first 15 minutes of Up, yeah. Fucking devastated me. I couldn't recover from that for like a month. Of devastating films. What's the next one?
In 1999, the coming-of-age film American Pie is released, directed by Paul Weitz, starring Jason Biggs, Eugene Levy, and an assembled cast.
Yeah, if you want to call it a coming-of-age film, it's more like coming in a pie film.
We're on a flute.
It's like warm apple pie. No one I know has ever, compared it to a warm apple pie.
I do like when Eugene Levy catches them and they're sitting at the table and the busted up cake pies in front of him, and he's like, "Well, we'll just tell your mother we ate it." He's the best part of that fucking movie, Eugene Levy. Coming of age film didn't quite hold up very well 30 some years later.
And I don't think there might have been 2 or three that actually broke out or branched out from that movie, but for the most
Eugene
part, the
Levy.
rest of the cast. Well, Eugene Levy had his career earlier than that. I'm talking about the kids,
Maybe Jason Biggs a little bit.
Jason Biggs a little bit. Shannon Elizabeth.
Mina
little.
Sabari did have American Pie,
Right?
or not American Beauty after this
American
too.
Beauty and Loser.
Mhm.
Tara Reid,
Sharknado. No, really, Eugene Levy had
Allison
Hannigan had a good career. She went back to
She
TV.
did all right.
Yeah, but she had a TV career before the movie.
She had Buffy.
Yeah.
That's true.
She had Buffy, but she went back to TV after that because she did How I Met Your Mother, which was 10 seasons long. So
yeah,
but Eugene Levy had a renaissance after this because he was like,
Yes.
he's big in the 80s, kind of, faded for a little bit, had this movie, and then in the 2000s was, in everything again.
Yeah.
I think the people who had the two biggest careers were Eugene Levy and Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
She's still making fucking movies and TV shows. What's your next one there, Mike?
In 2005, Marvel superhero film The Fantastic Four, starring.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Ian. Ian.
That's
not
Irish
Ian.
name.
That is Ian.
Ian Grufford.
That's how you spell Ian.
Yeah, but it's an Irish spelling, man. It's Celtic. Ian Grufford. Yeah.
Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, and Mike Chiklis premieres.
Now, this was definitely not the MCU. Was this a Sony film?
This is a Fox film.
Fox film?
Fox.
Yeah.
Fox, yeah.
I kind of enjoyed the first one. It wasn't bad.
I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah.
I like Silver Surfer though.
Yeah, that one wasn't great. I liked Michael Chiklis a lot as the Thing.
Yes.
But Chris Evans was really fun. The weakest parts of the film I thought were Ian Grufford and Jessica Alba. I wasn't convinced that she was blonde haired and blue eyed.
No.
Mike, what's your next one?
2007, Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, the fifth film based on the books by J.K. Rowling, is released.
One of my favorite facts is that it's the longest of all the books and the shortest of all the movies.
Yeah, that's what I hate about the movie.
They cut too much.
Yeah,
they cut way too much.
Changed too much, yeah.
Go for your next one there, sir.
And in 2010, Inception, directed by Christopher Nolan, and starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, premieres in London.
Love this
movie.
I
like this movie. I liked it a lot. And the only question I had was, the how they all shared in the dreams. And I know there was a little machine and whatnot, but aside from that, though, it was pretty solid.
You got to suspend your disbelief.
I know.
Talking about an ensemble film, though, man, and like catching people at the right times. You had Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Cillian Murphy was in this.
Yep.
Pete Postlethwaite was in this. Tom Hardy, Ellen Page, now Elliot Page.
Yeah.
And who was Ken Watanabe, who just came off of Last Samurai. I mean, this was a fucking and Michael Caine.
And Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, who was like a stalwart in the early Nolan films.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie. And the last one I added, because this just happened literally today. Today is July 11th as we are recording this episode. Actress Shelley Duvall, probably best known for her roles as Olive Oil in Popeye and Jack Nicholson's wife in The Shining, passed away today at the age of 75.
I was thinking about this. I knew her from Fairy Tale Theater. Okay. That's where I first remember her from. But I do know, I mean, obviously, she's got a very recognizable face. Popeye stands out. The Shining stands out. She was in that movie Roxanne, which is kind of a common retelling of, was it Cyrano?
Cyrano de Persia.
Cyrano de Persia. And it's one of my favorites. It was sad because I didn't think she was that old. She's not that old,
She's kind of been out of the limelight for a little while. She was like semi-retired, I think.
Yeah.
And she was not the same after doing The Shining, because apparently Kubrick like tortured her on set to try to get the reactions that he wanted. And like he was infamous for like doing an excessive amount of takes. And the scene where Nicholson breaks through the door and she's screaming, crying with the knife, trying to keep him away from her. He made her do that scene like 100 times. And she was like emotionally broken at the end of that film.
I heard he also told
Yeah.
the cast and crew to treat her like shit,
Yeah.
Kind of
He wanted her emotionally broken for the role.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being like something that followed her the rest of her life.
Yeah. She died of diabetes complication, I think.
Diabetes complications today at age 75. Mike, let's get off of this morose stuff and talk about a must-try beer craft destination.
Alrighty. We're going to talk about a craft destination in New Mexico. Santa Fe Brewing Company. Come join Santa Fe's original craft brewing at the main location, which includes a 3-story beer hall, an expansive beer garden, to include a host of outdoor games, a kids area, a community fire pit, and an underground barrel aging tasting room. The space is connected to the brewery on-site concert venue, the bridge, by a pedestrian bridge that leads up to and over the parking lot, allowing beer consumption across the complex publicly accessible space. Woohoo! Just walk around drinking beers.
It sounds like our road trip list keeps growing, man.
Yeah. We're going to need a bigger RV.
We need a bigger boat. That brings us to beer news is good news.
Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. It's soft. Beer is good. Beer is good. Beer is good. Let's go drink some beer.
Beer. Gentlemen,
Beer and chocolate avalanche mixed drink.
Eagle season is fast approaching.
EAGLES.
I can't fucking wait.
Well, my question to you, gentlemen, is: have you taken out your loans to purchase the beer at Lincoln Financial Field?
You need a loan to get tickets too.
Yeah, I can't afford tickets.
Eagles fans,
WrestleMania tickets were cheap compared to Eagles tickets.
Eagles fans pay too much for beer at the lake.
No shit.
And water is wet.
I
saw
that list. Oh my god!
A review of 32 team reveals that the Philadelphia Eagles fans are paying the most for beer at Lincoln Financial Field. But of course, it's the highest quality of beer. All that real good stuff. Overpriced beer at professional sporting events is nothing new, but a recent review of all 32 teams revealed that the Philadelphia Eagles are paying the most in the league. Team Marketing Reports conducted a recent study of concession prices across the NFL and discovered that Eagles fans are paying nearly $1 an ounce for 16-ounce beer, the most in the league at $14.67 per beer.
The cheapest is like $2 or something.
Yeah. I mean, I plan on drinking 3 beers tonight, gentlemen. That would have cost me close to $45, for just in beer. Meanwhile, the fans in Denver, Cincinnati, Detroit, and Atlanta are paying half as much for the same ice cold brews. The Eagles' NFC East rivals are charging considerably less as well. Giants and Commanders fans are paying $11 per coldie, while fans in Dallas, boo,
Except for the people who listen to us, so thank you.
are paying more than $5 less than in Philly. New data from Sports.
Because they have to entice people to come to a Dallas game.
You think it's the cost of their beer?
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that they could sell that their stadium seats 100,000 people. You can sell it a little cheaper and make more money.
They still can't fill those seats up. Team Marketing Report reveals that 2023 NFL Fan Cost Index rose by over 7% year over year, with the total cost of attendance at the league averaging $631.63. It's a lot of scratch to attend a professional football game. Our question is, do Eagles fans know that they're being charged an exorbitant amount for for beer when the rest of the league is paying for much cheaper prices? Yes, of course they know. I mean,
the question is, does
we're
it
drunk. We're not stupid.
the question is, does it stop them? No.
Right.
No.
On average, across the league, fans are paying about $9.75 for a beer, which is about $6 cheaper than what the Philadelphia Eagles fans are paying. Eagles fans are some of the most loyal in the league, and they tailgate as well as anyone, but high prices are not. They will pay these beer prices and root for their birds. So there's a fun fact.
Yeah, I saw the list on Facebook. They listed all 32 teams and all the prices of beers.
I have some
And-
beer news is good news this evening as
Oh.
well.
Well, do you want to go before my next story, or do you want to wait till after I'm done my story?
Let me go next because mine correlates to yours a little bit.
Okay.
It's a follow-up to the Kelsey Brothers beer story you did a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
So on the website allrecipes.com, a journalist named Bailey Fink tried the beer and wrote a review of it. And her review is that it tastes like a regular beer, which we had joked about before, that it's probably a beer your dad will like because it's a regular beer.
Regular beer.
It is not flavored and it's not a fancy IPA. It is just a regular light beer. But despite being light-bodied, it has a full amount of flavor. It does not taste watered down. It goes down smooth and doesn't fill you up, meaning it's a beer you can drink all day, especially in the summertime. So that just makes me want to find it even
While
more.
you're eating your hoagie.
Yeah. So, Kevin, why don't you go with your next story then?
All right. Well, it wasn't too long ago we were celebrating Women's Appreciation Month, and my next story kind of centers around that. New beer honors women's rights advocate Mathilda Enek. Okay. Women of what's wrong?
No, I'm just listening. Go ahead.
Mispronounced her name.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see the story.
Women of Turzala Brewing Company and Wizard Works Brewing are putting it all into their collaborative release, Prost Mathilda, in honor of civil rights trailblazer Mathilda Enek. The new brew, a traditional alt beer, is made with hops grown in composted old sexist beer poster and a Women's History Month initiative led by Miller Brewing Company. According to the news release, the brewery collected the offensive ads and recycled them into nutrient-rich soil, which was then used by Gooding Farms, a woman-owned hop farm in Idaho, to grow Idaho gem hops. The hops were later distributed among female brewers through the Pink Boot Society. Trisha Turzala, Renee Martinez, and Jenny Higgins took it from there, using the feminism-infused flower to bring depth to their collaborative beer, which features a toasty aroma, malty and slightly roasty flavor profile, balanced bitterness, and slightly hazy appearance. The trio, who plan to release the beer on Saturday, July 13th, which would be in 2 days, said that they saw the project as an opportunity to highlight the diversity within today's brewing community and bring awareness to the historically significant women from Milwaukee's past. She also united with the light. Oh, I'm sorry. This is let me go into the person that they're doing this for.
Real quick, do you mean Laverne and Shirley?
No.
Laverne and Shirley.
You mean Laverne and Shirley?
Yeah.
Who are Laverne? Well, I know who Laverne and Shirley are.
Milwaukee's beer.
Oh, yeah. That was a brewery bottling. It was a bottling plant, right?
Yes.
Yes. In Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee. I forgot that's
right. Here goes Mike aging himself again.
That was a spinoff of Happy Days.
It was.
Born in 1817 in what was the Kingdom of Prussia, Enek was a lifelong advocate for women's suffrage and gender equality. She was remembered as a lecturer, educator, journalist, writer, and newspaper editor, and credited with co-founding one of the first feminist newspapers in the United States. Die Deutsche, I can't pronounce that. It's all German. Zeitung, while residing in Milwaukee. She also united with the likes of Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and fought in favor of abolitionists and social justices. The trio found inspiration for their legacy. The brewers also noted the timing of the release. This collaboration was seen as a moment to encourage and empower women who are seeing their own personal liberties being taken away from them. All right. Release parties for Prost Matilda will be held on July 13th at Wizard Works in Milwaukee. And yeah, that's what I got for that story. Sorry.
To quote one of the movies on our list tonight, Wayne's World. Alice Cooper said that the Native Americans pronounced it Mihiwake.
Mihiwake.
Mihiwake. All right. So that was Beer News is Good News. We will be back with our main segment tonight. We're going back to the bracket, folks. We're going to do a bracket of the best musical moments and non-musical movies. We'll be right back after this quick word from Coffee Brothers.
I love a good beer, but right now I could use a good cup of coffee.
Have you heard about Coffee Brothers?
Oh yeah, they're that coffee company out of New York, right?
Well, they're more like a coffee wizards of New York City. They source these amazing seasonal blends and single origin coffees. It's like a flavor adventure in every cup. And get this, they roast everything in small batches. None of that mass-produced stuff. It's like each bean gets the VIB treatment.
VIB?
Very important bean.
Sounds fancy, but is it worth it?
Definitely. Plus, they're a two-person team. I mean, that's dedication right there. Two brothers, one mission to caffeinate the world. And right now, you can save 10% on your order. I mean, who doesn't love a good discount?
All right, you've convinced me. Let's get some Coffee Brothers now.
Coffee Brothers, where every cup is a sip of perfection. Save 10% on your next order with the code FNF10. That's FNF10. Cheers to great coffee. Boy, I'm glad StreamYard automatically mutes us during those advertisements because I let out a belch just now that actually disgusted myself. I was a little disappointed in myself afterwards.
Adrian just turned us off.
I didn't hear it. We're good.
You couldn't even blame Kate on that one, huh?
No, I couldn't. My fucking microphone smells now.
Wow.
All right, so we're looking at best musical moments in non-musical films. When we first decided on this, we put together a preliminary list of 30 movies, and then we put it out to our listeners and social media followers and all to help us vote on these to get it down to a Sweet 16. So here are the films that did not make the cut. Make My Dreams Come True from 500 Days of Summer. Dustin's Shadows, that's Pippin's song from The Return of the King. Why Don't You Do Right from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Come and Get Your Love from Guardians of the Galaxy. Backstreet's Back from This Is the End. Jump for My Love from Love Actually. Twist and Shout from Back to School. The Malishka from The Addams Family. Babysitting Blues from Adventures in Babysitting. Tired of the Game from Blazing Saddles. None of those made the cut. And there were 4 films that received votes, but not enough votes to make it to the top 16. So just falling out of that top 16 in 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th place, respectively, are I Put a Spell on You from Hocus Pocus. You Lost That Loving Feeling from Top Gun. Aquarius from The 4-Year-Old Virgin. And Grow Old With You from The Wedding Singer. So that left us with a bracket of 16 songs. We are using a site called Bracket HQ tonight that's going to help us determine the winner. It already did the seedings for us. I will go through them as we get to the bracket. But before we do that, I have some shout outs here. I'd like to shout out to the listeners who helped us with the rankings. Pods R Us and Seismic Cinema on TikTok. Damn It Pod, JM887 on Reddit. The Jacked Up Review Pod and Space Castle Pod on X.com. And my wife's Aunt Angie, who sent us some votes on Facebook. There were some others on there. If I forgot to mention you, I'm sorry, but these are some of the ones that gave us some of the most help with some of these things here that we're looking at tonight. Also, I'm going to shout out to Blowduck on Reddit, who sent us a message saying that he's definitely going to start following us and listening to the show. So thank you for that. New fan
Thank you,
out
Blow
there.
Duck.
And I want to send a shout out to Bar Banter Pod, one of our friends on our podcast group on X, who said of our Independence Day episode recently, "Cool, that's my favorite documentary." So helping us out with the bracket were all those people I mentioned. And here is our first round bracket. First matchup is the 1 seed. Thanks to all of your votes, the 1 seed is Wayne's World, The Bohemian Rhapsody, versus the 16th seed, Robin Hood Men in Tights. The 9th seed, Young Frankenstein, Putting on the Ritz, versus the 8th seed, History of the World, The Inquisition. We have a Mel Brooks showdown in the first round. 5th seed, Euro Trip, Scotty Doesn't Know, versus the 12th seed, My Best Friend's Wedding. 13th seed, Step Brothers, Boats and Hose, versus the 4th seed, Back to the Future. That's Johnny B. Good. Twist and Shout from Ferris Bueller is the 3 seed. That goes up against the rap song from Revenge of the Nerds in the 14th seed. The 11th seed, 10 Things I Hate About You, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, versus Beetlejuice, the 6th seed for Deo. 7th seed, Anchorman, Afternoon Delight, versus 10th seed, Life of Brian, The Bright Side of Life. 15th seed, Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll, versus the 2nd seed, Napoleon Dynamite and Canned Heat. So some Wayne's World won in first place doesn't shock me. I feel like that's such an iconic musical scene in a non-musical movie. But the Napoleon Dynamite one shocked me as being the second place one. I had a feeling it was going to make the 16, but not the second. Enjoy. So we're going to go through the bracket now, and I went and pulled a clip of each song so that we can hear it the first time around. I don't think I'm going to play it for each round. We'll just do it in the first round. So if you're listening, please enjoy these short musical clips from these films we're discussing. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll get to see the clip as well. Excuse me, allergies. All right. So our first matchup in the first round is the number 1 seed, Bohemian Rhapsody from Wayne's World, versus Men in Tights from Robin Hood, Men in Tights in the 16th seed. Here is a little clip of Bohemian Rhapsody.
Easy come, easy go, will you let me go?
Let me go, let you go, let me go, let you go, let me go. Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me.
And thus all the neck trauma for those teens in the 90s.
Did you guys recognize one of the guys in the back seat?
No.
Laurence Olivier.
Yeah. Did a movie with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey? Yeah. I do remember reading something recently about it that they needed Freddie Mercury's permission to use the song in the film, and he saw the scene, loved it, and was actually in the last throes of his battle with AIDS when he saw the scene. He gave it his blessing, said he loved it, and then actually passed away not too long after the film's release. It was kind of a bittersweet moment there. That is going up, as I said, against the 16th seed, Robin Hood Men in Tights, the Men in Tights song.
Blimey, these are hard to get on. Let's face it, you gotta be a man to wear tights. Will, how many seams? Perfect. Every time.
We're men in tights. We roam around the forest looking for fights. We're men in tights. We run from the rich and give to the poor, that's right. We may look like sissies, but watch what you say or else we'll put out your lights. We're men in tights. Always on guard, defending the people's rights. We're men, manly men, we're men in tights. Yes! We roll.
Yes.
I had to wait till I got to that part before I stopped it. Love that Dave Chappelle is in on that number. So this leaves the voting up to us now. The 1 seed versus the 16 seed. Now, as much as I love, what's that, Kev?
I can't make my choice. I highlighted it. I'm on there. I can't make my choice.
Well, I can do that. It's fine.
Oh.
My choice, as much as I love Mel Brooks, I don't think this is his. All right, let's not base this on the movie itself. Let's base it on the musical numbers. Let's try not to let our feelings about certain movies, like, you know. But that being said, I don't think this is one of his best musical numbers. And as I was listening to it again, I'm like, it sounds like Jews in Space from History of the World. Men, manly men, we're men in tights. We're Jews up in space. It's like pretty much the same melody. And as much as I love Mel Brooks, I think I gotta go to Wayne's World because I feel like this is just so iconic.
Yeah, I would have to go that way as well.
I would go also with Wayne's World. I think it brought back attention to Bohemian Rhapsody, which, I mean, it was popular when it came out, kind of settled a little bit. This reignited it with a younger audience.
Yeah, it was like 20 years or so after its release, it was back on the charts again because of that film. So that moves the 1 seed Wayne's World to the next round. Let's scroll down to the bottom here and look at number 2 seed, Napoleon Dynamite Canned Heat versus Risky Business Old Time Rock and Roll, which is the 15th seed. Here is Canned Heat.
Sanchez.
Kevin just had a flashback to his cousin Mary Kate's wedding. I also just realized I can't fast forward these videos that I'm showing, so I'm gonna have to go back and like edit some pieces out to make them a little shorter. So that was Napoleon Dynamite's Canned Heat versus Risky Business, the 15th seed Old Time Rock and Roll.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco. You'll never even get me out on the floor. In 10 minutes I'll be late for the door. I like that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time rock and roll. That kind of
Anybody who admit to doing that when they were alone as a teenager? Any teenagers you know would fucking do that when they were alone?
There was too much carpet in my house. I would have
I had 0 wood floors in my house.
Yeah, no kidding.
I would have rug burns sliding across it. And And anybody got the Mandela effect going where you remember him having sunglasses on in that scene?
I did. Yeah, I thought it was a white shirt with sunglasses. I think that's been every parody of that scene from sitcoms and everything going down the line.
Everybody swears they remember it, but they don't. But it's not true.
That's true. And I remember it wasn't the white shirt. I remember the shirt he was wearing.
Yeah. Now, the only reason this is a 2 seed versus a 15 seed again is because the voting online. In my head, Risky Business is not the 15th seed, and Napoleon Dynamite is not the 2 seed.
No, Risky. That's the iconic scene for the movie.
This is a movie that, I mean, that's a scene that kind of made Tom Cruise's career.
Yes.
Jared Hess has not done much after Napoleon Dynamite, to my understanding. So,
he did that one with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, he did Blades of Glory with Blades of Glory. Yeah, with Will Ferrell, which itself had some funny musical numbers in it. And it's an iconic scene. It's a quirky niche cult film. I enjoy it. I know Kevin's got some trauma from it. But I can't, in my right as a movie lover, I can't go against Risky Business here.
Yeah, Risky Business has to go next.
Yeah,
let's go forward.
Kevin,
yeah,
right?
No, I'm in agreement. I mean, Jamiroquai had his moment, but
that's right. Jamiroquai did candy. Right?
Jamiroquai, yeah.
I prefer Virtual Insanity.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be technically our first upset of the bracket, with the 15th seed Risky Business making it to the next round. It's really not upset, but you know. So let's go back to the top. We're doing these a little out of order because this is the way the bracket set it up.
Lee, just so you know, I don't see anything moving.
You have to refresh your screen.
Let me refresh it for you. You have to refresh your screen.
Mike has to refresh.
Refresh your screen.
Okay.
There you go. You say it. All right. Yeah. Again, we're using a new system tonight, so we're working out the bugs a little bit here.
I see it.
Yeah. So the next one, then we'll go to back to the top, and we'll do the 8th versus 9th seed, because this is one I feel like I need to get over with. So it's the 8th seed, History of the World, the Spanish Inquisition song, versus Young Frankenstein, Putting on the Ritz. We have a first round Mel Brooks showdown. So here is the Inquisition song. And again, I'm not going to show this whole thing.
Torquemada, do not implore him for compassion. Torquemada, do not beg him for forgiveness. Torquemada, do not ask him for mercy. Let's face it, you can't talk him out of anything.
Let all those who wish to confess their evil ways and to accept and embrace the true church convert now or forever burn in hell. For now begins the Inquisition. The Inquisition.
Let's begin.
The Inquisition.
Look out, sin.
We have a mission to convert the Jews. We're gonna teach them
wrong from right.
We're gonna help them
see the light
and make an offer that they can't refuse.
That the Jews just can't refuse.
Confess. Don't be boring. Say yes.
Say yes.
Don't be dull.
A fact you're ignoring.
It's better to lose your skull cap than your skull.
Or your gavalt.
The Inquisition.
What a show.
The Inquisition.
Here we go.
We know you're wishing that we'd go away. But the Inquisition's here and it's here to stay.
Oh boy. The Inquisition. Watch out.
Hey, Torquemada, what do you say? I just got back from the Order de Fe. Order de Fe? What's the Order de Fe? It's what you oughtn't do, but you do anyway. And that, again, is going up against Putting on the Ritz from Young Frankenstein.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes, or cutaway coat, perfect fits. Dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying mighty hard to look like Gary Cooper. Come, let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks or umbrellas in their midst.
Yeah. I'm going to vote first.
All
I'm going to go because this is my meaning for this. I'm going to go with Young Frankenstein, put on the list, because every time I think of the Inquisition, I confuse it with the Monty Python. No one expects this
the Spanish Inquisition.
So
my thinking was History of the World, Inquisition over Putting on the Ritz, because Putting on the Ritz is not an original song. It was written in 1929 by Irving Berlin, whereas Inquisition is an original song written by Mel Brooks. And so I feel like the original over the cover in a way. So that would give it a 1-to-1 vote there. So Kevin's going to be the tiebreaker on this one. And I just want you to know, I wouldn't be upset with either one. So whichever one wins, I'm fine with it. So.
I honestly, I think I got to go with Young Frankenstein. It's unexpected, and the monster chiming in with I can hear my mom singing it, because she loves the movie, and it's what I hear,
I remember it was in the 80s, a singer named Taco did a cover of Putting on the Ritz, and it was on the radio all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a fan of the movie because my dad had showed it to me when I was a kid, and when that song would come on the radio, we'd blast it in the car and sing along to it. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it too. I'm not upset with it. I had to give History of the World a vote just because I felt like it needed a vote.
Absolutely.
But I'm happy with either one of those going on to the next round. So we're going to speaking of Monty Python, we're going to swing down to the bottom again to do 7th seed versus 10th seed. The 7th seed is Anchorman, Afternoon Delight, versus Life of Brian, The Bright Side of Life, which we talked about on our Monty Python episode a little ways back. So if you're interested, everybody out there, you should check out that episode. It was a good one. So here is, hold on, let me cue this up here. Here is Anchorman, Afternoon Delight.
Well, it's really quite simple. It's kind of like, gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been, when it's right, why wait until the middle of a cold, dark night? When everything's a little clearer in the light of day. And we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together, making sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Woo! Afternoon delight. Whoop. You guys have it, I think. Afternoon delight.
I don't know, Ron. That sounds kind of crazy.
Sounds like you have mental problems, man.
Yeah, you have mental problems, man.
Yeah, it really does.
Man.
Afternoon delight.
I'm gonna make a phone call here.
What I love about that scene is, at first you think, oh, it's just going to be a silly Will Ferrell sing-along thing, and then they break into perfect fucking harmony. And that's the four of them singing, too. That's not overdub.
Yeah.
Like, all four of those guys broke into harmony, which is really impressive. But that goes up against a tough customer here, which is Monty Python's Life of Brian. If I can find it on my list here. Hold on. I can't find it. Hold on. Hold on.
Cheer up, Brian. You know what they say? Some things in life are bad. They can really make you mad. Other things just make you swear and curse. When you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. And this'll help things turn out for the best. Hey. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps. Just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Come on. Always look on the right side of life.
For anybody listening who's not familiar, just keep in mind that they are singing that song while hanging from crucifixes.
Always look on the bright side of
life. No kidding aside, all kidding aside, I'm fairly certain Mike is going with Life of Brian.
Yeah, I love that song.
I know Mike. It was Mike is the one who suggested the Monty Python episode after all. So
I love that song because
yeah.
they use that song in 2 different movies too. So
yeah, but this is probably the more famous of the 2 uses of it, I think. Kev, which vote are you going to go with here?
I think I'm going to go with Life of Brian as well. It's the song I sing when I just need to cheer myself up.
Good. I didn't want to have to be the tiebreaker on this. I didn't want Mike to get mad at me if I voted for Afternoon Delight. So it doesn't really matter. With
another upset.
Yeah, with 2 votes, another upset here. Life of Brian, Bright Side of Life goes on to the next round. Let's go up to the next one here. We got the 5th seed Euro Trips Scotty Doesn't Know, which features a funny cameo from Matt Damon. And My Best Friend's Wedding, Say a Little Prayer for You. So let's go to Scotty Doesn't Know first from Euro Trip.
Hey, listen up, everybody. Got a little special thing I'd like to do tonight. And play a little song for you about the nastiest, freakiest little sex puppet I know, Fiona. This one's for you, baby. Happy anniversary.
Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it in my van every Sunday. She tells him she's in church, but she doesn't go. Still she's on her knees, and Scotty doesn't know. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. I can't believe he's so trusting.
Doesn't hurt that scene includes Kristen Kruk in a tank top and a plaid skirt.
Does not indeed.
That goes up against Say a Little Prayer for My Best Friend's Wedding.
The moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup,
I'll say a little prayer for you.
while combing my hair now, while wondering what dress to wear now.
I say a little prayer for you.
Forever and ever, you stay in my heart, and I will love you forever and ever. You never will part. Oh, how I love you together forever. That's how it must be to live without you. Would only be heartbreak for me.
All right, should we just send Euro Trip on then? Not one of my favorite films. My Best Friend Wedding is one of my wife's.
Was that the scene before Cameron Diaz has the mousse in her hair? And
I wish
Wrong
it was that movie.
movie.
I wish it was that movie. Oh my god. Again, I don't want to. We can't vote based on movie. We got to vote based on the song.
Based on the song,
which I prefer the Dionne Warwick version to Rupert Everett singing it. Anybody notice that one of the people in that scene was the old pitcher from Major League?
Yes, I did.
Harris. I'm going with Scotty Doesn't Know. Just I think it's a funnier song.
Yeah, I'll go with Scotty Doesn't Know. Though I have to give it to Rupert Everett for singing his own song, whereas Matt Damon had a stand-in, I believe.
Yes, it is a dubbed over voice, but it's still a pretty funny scene.
Yeah.
And Michael?
I was going to go with My Best Friend's Wedding.
Really?
Okay.
Because it reminded me a lot of the Top Gun one that didn't make the list. Just out of the blue doing it.
All right. Well, anyway, your show goes on anyway because Kevin and I both voted for it. So we got our this is not an upset then based on the seeding. Finally getting to the next round. So scrolling down again, we're going to look at the 6th seed Beetlejuice, the Deo scene, versus the 11th seed 10 Things I Hate About You, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. So here is Beetlejuice.
I would rather talk about
It's cute, Delia.
Daylight come and me want go home.
Otho, are you doing
Work
this?
all night and a drink a rum. Daylight come and me want go home. Stack banana till the morning come. Daylight come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want go home. Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me want go home. Live
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.
Daylight come and me want go home.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch.
Daylight come and me want go home.
That kind of gets me hyped for the sequel that's coming out in October. I love the part like she starts singing and he immediately looks under the table. Like what's he expecting to see? Like a puppet or like tape recorder, something like that. And then that goes up against 10 Things I Hate About You. If I can find it here, which is the Can't Take My Eyes Off of You scene. Here it is. Easy.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last love has arrived, and I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you.
His smile melts me.
I like to smile at the Joker better. Oh
yeah. So here we go. We got Deo, which is a lip synced ghost possession scene, versus Heath Ledger at his dreamiest, actually singing to a Frankie Valli song, which is one of my favorite singers of all time too. So tough one, I think. Even though Beetlejuice looks like the runaway winner here. So I'm gonna go first. And oh god, despite how much I just praised it, I'm going with Beetlejuice anyway. Just because I feel like it's 10 Things I Hate About You is iconic to people who know the film, and I don't know if how many people remember the film or have seen the film and all that. Whereas Beetlejuice, still to this day, I think is still well known enough that it's getting a sequel now. So I'm going with Beetlejuice.
But we were supposed to be going on the musical,
and I'm going, but I think it's an iconic enough scene. And there's actually a second scene in the film too, because they do it with Delia at the end with Shakes and Nura. So big comeback for what's his name? Who's the guy that sings Deo?
Harry Belafonte.
Harry Belafonte, like his those. Let's talk about we did that with like Bohemian Rhapsody. These songs hit the charts again too after Beetlejuice came out.
Yep.
So Kev, what do you go with?
Kind of both song. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna have to go with 10 Things I Hate About You. I like the chime in of the marching band that's on the field with them. It's a very sweet moment. It's a very tender moment. And yes, I understand you have to have seen the movie to like appreciate the scene, but just going off of the scene himself, he sang it well. He sang it really well.
You know, he does melt my heart every time he smiles.
And you heard it a little bit early when the security goes to apprehend him. He's running.
Yeah, he's chasing him around
across the bleachers and making
one guy in the ass as he's running by.
So I think I'm going to go with 10 Things.
No, I'm not.
Man, you're
Mike gets to do the tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker. Ouch!
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, I wouldn't be upset either way. So. Mike's brain hurts. You freeze, Mike, or you got an answer?
I love you, baby.
Oh wow! You got another upset here. You're gonna make my wife happy. You know, it's just like her favorite movie. Beetlejuice getting knocked out in the first round.
That hurt my soul doing that.
That brings us to one I think is a foregone conclusion, but we're gonna play these songs anyway. It is the 4th seed, Back to the Future, Johnny Be Good, versus Step Brothers, Boats and Hose. So here is Back to the Future.
All right. This is an oldie, but well, it's an oldie where I come from. All right, guys, listen, this is a blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Way down in Louisiana, down in New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny Be Good. He never ever learned to read or write so well. He could play the guitar just like he's ringing a bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, 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 Johnny, go, go. Where'd you let out big? Let's go. George, you ever think I'm ready for class president? Johnny Be Good. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go. Go, Johnny, go, go, go. Johnny Be Good.
I think it's such a testament to films of the 80s that they didn't even go out of their way to try to find somebody who sounded like Michael J. Fox when he sang.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Nowhere near what he sounds like. And that goes up against, oh my God.
Really?
It goes up against Boats and Hose from Step Brothers.
heads. My dad's boat. You won't go down cause my dick can float.
We sail around the world and go port to port. Every time I come, I produce a quart.
Put on your life vest, let's drop anchor. There's a nice lady who I like to swank her.
Boats and hoes, boats and hoes. I gotta have me my boats and hoes. Boats and hoes, boats and hoes. I gotta have me my boats and hoes.
Deadliest catch without the crabs. We're almost out of gas, called the Arabs.
I'm a pussy pirate, my name is Jack Sparrow. Take off my pants, she can see my flesh arrow.
Make sure to wax, use your mom's hair. You'll be a
Oscar nominee John C. Reilly, folks.
Gentlemen, I have not drank enough for that shit.
That song is
Look,
so
the lyrics were
insane.
original. You know, and
I produced report.
I felt them really tuning into their inner Beastie Boys. You know,
I'm just laughing at some of the lyrics. Call me Jack Sparrow. I'll show you my flesh arrow. Mike, I'm not going to piss you off by voting for Boats and Hoes. I'm going with Back to the Future, but I'm really enjoying it right now. I know Mike is going to Back to the Future.
Yeah, I'm going Back to the
Mike,
Future.
is that your direction? Well, then I don't need to vote.
Yeah. And then that takes us to the last matchup of the first round. 3rd seed Ferris Bueller Twist and Shout versus 14th seed Revenge of the Nerds, the Nerd Rap.
This one hurts
Here
my heart too.
Okay, let's go.
What do you think Ferris is gonna do?
It's gonna be a fry cook on Venus.
Well, shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out. Yeah, work it on out. Work it on out. You know you look so good. Look so good. You know you got me going now. Just like I knew you would. Like I knew you would. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out. You know you twisty little girl. Twisty little girl. You know you twist so fine. Twist so fine. Come on and twist a little closer.
Kind of an argument for it all being in Cameron's mind. How did he get away with that without getting arrested?
Oh.
I also think it's a kind of a crime that you didn't actually let Matthew Broderick sing in that scene, because Matthew Broderick is a proven singer, and I think it would have been cool to hear him actually do the song.
Was he at the time? I mean, come on. The kid under his belt had War Games. He had, you know.
You can sing. If you can sing, you sing. And like he does it earlier in the film. He sings Dankeschön while he's in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
And you kind of hear him a little bit. And he does have a good voice. So it would have been cool to hear him like actually do it. But that is going up against the 14th seed, the Nerd Rap from Revenge of the Nerds.
Everybody, and everybody clap your hands. We lambda, and Omega move. And we come here on stage tonight to do a show for you. We got a rockin' rhythm and a high-tech sound that'll make you move your body down to the ground. We got Poindexter on the violin, and Lewis and Gilbert will be joining in. We got Booger Presley on the mean guitar, and a rap by little old me, Lamar. We got Takashi beating on his gong. The boys in the moves are clapping along, and just when you thought you seen it all, along comes a lambda 4-foot tall. So won't you come on out here on the floor, so we can work our bodies like never before. Break.
Whew, that was fucking 80s.
They were the Daft Punk of the 80s.
That was 80s. That was like a mix of a million different 80s things in one.
Mm.
Minus the Asian guy dressed as a Native American on a gong. And Booger Presley. Oof, man. I'm a little biased right now because I just watched Ferris Bueller the other night, so it's kind of like fresh in my mind.
Oh, it's definitely Ferris. Come on.
And I
now.
gotta go with Ferris Bueller.
I have to go with Ferris as well.
Yeah,
the
I love the
coordination of the people dancing on the stairs.
Yeah, that's a cool scene. It's a cool scene, and it's as much as I love Revenge of the Nerds, again, it's like a film that probably wouldn't be made nowadays. So,
Gilbert went on to become a doctor in Chicago.
Hey, Booger's an angel in freaking Supernatural.
Yeah,
Come on now.
He's Metatron.
He's the voice of God.
So the second round looks like this. We have first seed Wayne's World Bohemian Rhapsody versus the 9th seed Young Frankenstein putting on the Ritz. 5th seed Euro Trip, Scotty Doesn't Know versus 4th seed Back to the Future, Johnny Be Good. Ferris Bueller, 3rd seed Twist and Shout versus 11th seed 10 Things I Hate About You, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You. 10th seed Life of Brian, Bright Side of Life versus 15th seed Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll. Got some good matchups in this round.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to play the song clips for this round. We'll go through it real quick, and I think when we get to the final two, I'll replay those clips. So
okay.
Wayne's World, 1st seed versus 9th seed Young Frankenstein putting on the Ritz. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. I love Mel Brooks. I love putting on the Ritz. The Wayne's World scene is so fucking iconic. Oh God, just because it's 20 years
so
newer.
iconic. I gotta stay with Wayne's World.
Well, I'm thinking because it's also 20 years newer than Young Frankenstein. More people probably know that one today.
And I know we're not thinking of the movie, but you have to think with each of these movies, which of these songs stands out as more of a part of the movie than the other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I think of the movie Young Frankenstein, it's a great Putting on the Ritz is a great scene. It's not the scenes that stand out to me. Bohemian Rhapsody. Right. Bohemian Rhapsody stands out to me as a quintessential scene from this movie. So I think
agree. That's a good way of looking at it, because I think when I think Young Frankenstein, I usually go to the scene with Gene Hackman as the blind man is like one of my favorite scenes. But like when I think of Wayne's World, I haven't seen Wayne's World in so long, I couldn't even tell you anything else from the film other than the Bohemian Rhapsody film scene. So
I love the whole thing where they're talking about sponsorships and
that's a funny scene. Yeah, with Rob Lowe.
You don't think of Ballroom Blitz?
Ballroom Blitz.
That's Ballroom Blitz. Yeah. It's a good song.
That's Tia Carrera.
Yeah.
that wasn't an original though. That was she had covered that, right?
That's a cover of a song from the 60s or 70s, something like that. So let's go down to the bottom then and look at 15 seed Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll versus 10 seed Life of Brian, Bright Side of Life. Oh God, this is a tough one. I might have to flip a coin on this one.
I know, because using the same logic is pushing me in a direction I don't want it to be, but I think
yes, if you go by your logic,
I went by my logic for the last one.
If you go by that logic for this one, then it's Risky Business.
Yeah,
because Life of Brian, I can name 4 or 5 other scenes that I think are really funny.
I mean, it's a great ending to the movie, but that's all it is an ending to the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of controversial, and like you said, Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll is a scene that kind of shot Tom Cruise into superstardom. So I think I got to go with Risky Business.
Yeah, I guess I have to too.
Michael,
I'm gonna complete the threesome there.
Okay.
All right, so Risky Business pulls the upset in the second round as well, fighting its way through.
It's been misseeded as a 15.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah,
I feel bad making that call.
I feel bad too, but
You feel
hey,
dirty making that call.
you guys both voted on 10 Things I Hate About You over Beetlejuice, so don't feel too bad right now.
Yeah.
Euro Trip, Scotty doesn't know. 5th seed versus 4th seed, Back to the Future, Johnny Be Good. Should I just put Back to the Future in?
I'm putting Back to the Future in.
I think because I mean, honestly, that carried over through I'd say the trilogy, but at least the first 2 movies.
Yeah, and it's like Euro Trip. I remember that song.
Yeah,
it's a really funny scene, but it's not
funny song. But
like you think Back in the Future, you think he's singing Johnny Be Good. We laugh at the fact that he sounds nothing like him.
Yeah,
it also ties into the rest of the plot because you see him looking at the picture, waiting to have the kiss and all that stuff, and it's a important part of the plot. So
yep,
go with that. And then Ferris Bueller, the 3rd seed, Twist and Shout versus 11th seed, 10 Things I Hate About You, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
I go Ferris
Bueller.
Yeah, I'm going with
Bueller.
It kind of finishes his day. Day off,
making his way around Chicago in 6 hours.
Yeah,
impossibly. I'll apologize to my wife that we didn't vote her favorite movie all the way through. So, all right, that takes us to the final 4. This is going to be fucking tough. So we have 1 seed, Wayne's World, Bohemian Rhapsody versus 4th seed, Back to the Future, Johnny Be Good. And 3rd seed, Ferris Bueller, Twist and Shout versus 15th seed, Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll. So I'm going to go to the bottom first. We'll start with Ferris Bueller versus Risky Business.
I'll go first on this one.
Go for it.
Because I'm going to go this with when you hear the 2 songs on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of Risky Business when I hear that song. I don't think of Ferris Bueller when I hear that song on the radio.
Okay. So
you're going to go with Risky Business.
Okay. Kev, I'll let you go in case.
No. By all means.
Well, no, because
no. By all means.
No, because if you go, then because if I pick Ferris Bueller, then you have to be the tiebreaker. If you pick it, I have to be the tiebreaker. So
I'm okay with that.
All right, then I'm going to make you be the tiebreaker then, because I'm having a hard time with this one. So I'm going to give a vote to Ferris Bueller and leave it up to you.
I just like my logic in that comment.
I like your logic too, and I agree with it, but Kevin asked for it, so.
No, I did. I thought, your logic makes a lot of sense. It is what you see in your head when you hear the song on the radio. Would Ferris's day have been just as good if he didn't get on a float? I don't know. Somebody would have been like that.
Rebecca
that day was,
in that movie if it wasn't.
Then again, did Tom Cruise? I mean, maybe this was brought on by hallucinogens from eating a cold,
sucking on a frozen steak,
sucking on a.
That was so disgusting.
Hey, if Ferris could just have been Cameron's imagination, it's just,
that's a good point.
The whole movie could be just that.
We're gotta go with risky on this.
I was gonna say we're battling on this one, man. Wait till we get to the next one.
Yeah, I think I gotta go risky on this.
So that means Risky Business, the 15th seed, makes it to the finals, and now it's up to us to decide on the other movie in the finals: Wayne's World, Bohemian Rhapsody versus Back to the Future, Johnny Be Good. Yep.
Well, I went first last time. Someone else can go.
I know.
First.
I'll
go first. I'll go first.
Go for it.
Do I just cast logic aside and go with what's in my heart?
I think at this point you kind of have to. Yeah. There's real no other way to go.
I gotta go with Johnny Be Good, Back to the Future.
All right. Michael, why don't you go?
I'll make you break it because I'm going Wayne's World.
All right. Yeah, I had a feeling, so I said, let me be the tiebreaker this time.
Because I'm going with the same logic that with Bohemian Rhapsody, I still see that scene in my head.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm using Kevin's logic from whatever round it was where we talked about like what's the scene that you think of, or like you think of others like Back to the Future. I like the Johnny B. Good scene, but there are other scenes that stand out in my mind from that film. Whereas Bohemian Rhapsody is the thing that stands out in my mind from Wayne's World. So I am going with Wayne's World.
Okay.
So that brings us to the final round. Wayne's World, the 1 seed versus Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll, the 15 seed.
Oh my God.
Just as a reminder, here is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go?
Let me go. Let you go. Let me go. Let you go. Let me go.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Mamma mia, let me go.
Versus Old Time Rock and Roll from Risky Business.
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Don't try to take me to a disco. You'll never even get me out on the floor. In 10 minutes I'll be late for the door. I like that old time rock and roll. Still like that old time.
I definitely got to edit that scene. I can't watch him suck on a frozen steak twice. Wayne's World, number 1 seed, Bohemian Rhapsody versus 15 seed, Risky Business, Old Time Rock and Roll. I did the tiebreaker last round. Somebody else is going first on this.
Well, I'll do the tiebreaker so somebody else can go first.
All right. God damn it. We can't even use the logic that we've been using for this because both of these films fall under that logic.
Yeah.
I have a different logic.
All right.
Guide my vote.
All right.
But I'm doing the
I will
tiebreaker.
go first.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I must vote in favor of Wayne's World. I have to go with Wayne's World.
Okay. That leaves it to me. Now, Mike, I need to, don't tell me what you were going to vote for, but what's the logic you're using to see if it helps me here?
The logic will tell you what I'm voting for because it's one movie has one song moment, the other movie has several song moments in it.
Okay, so you're going to vote for Risky Business.
I'm going with Risky Business because it's the only song moment in the movie.
Fuck.
Now you just made yourself the tiebreaker.
Now I made myself the tiebreaker now. So Wayne's World versus Risky Business. I'm going to go with the user comment that we got that said, this list doesn't mean anything if Wayne's World is not on it.
I'm not mad at it.
No, I'm gonna use one of our listeners to help me make this decision, so then that way I don't have to take all the blame for it. So I am going with Wayne's World. So our 1 seed wins the championship. Our pick for the best best musical moment in a non-musical film is the Bohemian Rhapsody from Wayne's World.
See, that would have been my argument. That it's
Yeah.
not that much of a non-musical film since it has several musical moments in it.
But it's to me, it's like all the musical moments other than that are in regards to T. Carrera's band. And,
well, no, the right before that was the Foxy Lady with Garth.
That's right. They do the Foxy Lady.
Jimi
But
Hendrix, yeah.
But that's not the scene you think of when you think of a movie.
No.
I don't know. Just something about it that just.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
not mad at it. I just
no. I know, but I don't know. It was such a tough one.
This is
a really
tough
one.
tape.
I probably have owned at least the DVD maybe at some point. I saw Wayne's World in the theater.
I think I did too.
I know.
Mike, you have any beer trivia or history for us this evening?
Well, I do have a beer. Fun fact, and I had something I wanted to tell you guys. I found out.
Mm-hmm.
One of our favorite brewing companies, Devil's Backbone, was actually bought out several years ago.
Okay. Oh wow!
They are owned by Anheuser-Busch now.
Oh wow! And they didn't turn over their production to less favorable beers.
I guess
they
not.
didn't chop it up and sell it for parts like they've done with other small.
Anheuser-Busch bought it in 2016.
Wow! The more you know.
Yeah. So Stephen Pietrosino drank a liter of beer in 1.3 seconds at the Gingerbread Man pub at Carl Island. Good God, I can't even read it tonight. Carl Isles, Pennsylvania, in June 22nd, 1977, earning him the Guinness World Record. He also accomplished records for the quart of a liter of beer, which he downed in 0.137 seconds, and half a liter of beer in 0.4 seconds. But only the 1 liter record was published. Seems a little hard to swallow.
Oh, man. So, thank you everybody for joining us tonight for episode 157. Hopefully, we didn't piss you off too much with our choice for the winning non-musical musical moment. Our winner again tonight was our number 1 seed, voted by the listeners of the show anyway, Wayne's World, Bohemian Rhapsody. We hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Remember, you can drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit us at linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to see all of our social media and podcast links. You become part of the Films and Fermentation family by supporting us on Patreon or buying our merchandise at teespring.com, or you can find out more about us and the podcast of the month, The Real Drunks, at The Den, the Deluxe Edition Network, deluxeeditionnetwork.com. Before we talk about next week's episode, anybody have anything they need to say about their drinks tonight?
I drank
good
it all.
beer. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, those are good beers. I have them too, and I really enjoyed my little chocolatey mixed drink that I made. I had 3 of those.
Good luck with going to sleep tonight.
It's not just that; it's also chocolate milk. I bought lactate free, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be okay anyway, since it was 3 of them that I drank.
Go get the pills.
Now, make sure you drop by the crossroads between pickled and fermented next time around for episode 158. This is going to be a different episode for us. Instead of our normal talking about movies or voting on movies or whatever we normally do, we're doing a little bit of a discussion episode. We're going to talk about what constitutes a franchise in cinema. This is the Films and Fermentation Master Debater Series. Where we debate.
You guys are so juvenile.
Where we debate the idea of what makes a movie franchise. Make sure you join us for that episode. In the meantime, again, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
You have been listening to the Films and Fermentation Podcast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.